Welcome to the Investor Shed Podcast with Nick Beveridge, the ultimate source for all things investing and beyond. For free tools, tips, and tricks, go to northidahorei.com. Today's episode features Ryan Dale and Chris King. Ryan and Chris met on the East Coast with a passion for building and Jeeping. Check out their story of moving to Spokane, starting a friendship and business, and how they got started in real estate investing. Stay tuned.
My bad.
We should probably introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Everyone knows me. I'm Nick, and
I'm Ryan and Chris.
Ryan and Chris. And where are you guys from?
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
We started becoming friends through our love of building and off-roading Jeeps. So
Nice. You might want to be a little bit closer to that mic,
oh yeah,
like within a couple feet.
okay. So I got a Jeep because our buddy Sebastian had one, and I really liked it. It cured a hangover for me one morning. So
Nice. Like a Jeep Wrangler?
Yeah, driving around with no doors.
Uh-huh.
I was like, holy heck, this is awesome. So I ended up buying one, and then I got part of this club, Jeep club, and I posted, does anyone want to go out this weekend? And
No, I did. So, all right.
oh, that's right,
back up.
you posted.
So
and I was like,
Yeah. So I enjoy Jeeping. I had a little small, I don't know, white YJ, a little square headlights, the yuppie Jeep or whatever.
Yeah, I remember
and so
those.
I sold that, and then I got a newer, to me, brand new 12 Rubicon two-door. I was like, yeah, let's go take it out. And at the time, my son was, 5, 6 years old or something like that. And so I posted in this group, and I was like, hey, we're going, wheeling this, this new Jeep. I want to get it dirty. Anyone want to come? This random guy named Chris King was like, yeah, I'll show up. I'll be there. I'm like, okay, cool. Meeting dudes on the internet, at a random gas station on the way. So I'm there with my son in the back, and then Chris rolls up, and he has like 3 chicks hanging out, music's blaring, and I'm like, who's this mother?
Gosh.
Like, what the hell? All right, this is going to be fun.
I'm pretty sure it was Kickstart My Heart, Motley Crue,
Yeah.
too, just
Nice.
blaring
Yeah.
as I pulled into this gas station.
So where'd you guys go mudding?
George Washington National Forest.
West
It's in-
Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, West Virginia.
So
Where you
we
guys
met on
from?
the East
Did
Coast,
you met
yeah.
there? Okay.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in the Seattle area, was out in the East Coast for 13 years or whatever, and that's where we met.
Okay.
And then, so I remember this one, that Jeeping time we were going, and at one point Chris was on top of his Jeep with a foot on the windshield, foot on the roll bar, a winch cable in one hand and a beer in the other, and he's riding his Jeep and slowly
Somebody
going
else is
down.
driving.
Somebody
I'm
else
not,
is
I'm
driving.
not also trying to drive.
And my son looks up and he's like, Dad, I don't think that's safe. And I'm like, yeah, it's not,
How old's
But
your son?
inwardly, at the time he was like 5.
Okay.
Inwardly, I was like, that looks like fun, right? So then he gets into my Jeep, and we've met like just 30 minutes before, and he's like,
Yeah.
going on about how New England Patriots
I
are.
just had gone to the 14 Super Bowl with my dad. I took him to the one in Phoenix that we beat the Seahawks at. Because
So
I'm from originally
okay.
Massachusetts.
Still riding that high.
Still riding that high, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So a 20-minute dissertation on how New England Patriots are the best and Seattle Seahawks suck. And at the end of this long diatribe, it was like, so do you watch football? I was like, yeah, a little bit. He's like, who do you root for? And I was like, Seattle Seahawks. And he's like, awkward. Yeah, it was fun.
I'm gonna go check out my
man.
Jeep now.
No, but it was love at first sight.
Oh.
Yeah.
So fast forward a couple of years, I had moved down to Atlanta and didn't enjoy it there. We were looking for a new place to live, and I was like, hey, Chris, you want to go flip houses in Spokane? He's like, yeah.
I was done with Virginia. It was so expensive to live there. I had a lawsuit that I ended up winning from my last. I was a builder in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
That I ended up closing and settling out of, and my wife and I decided to move on amicably. But I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go help my parents finish their house in New England for 8 months, take a sabbatical, and just figure things out. And he calls and he's like, I need a contractor on the West Coast. You in? When I get back from Iraq, I was like, yup.
Yep.
So we buy a trailer. I load it up, and December 5th of 2019, I show up after driving 3 solid days of 21-hour days. I made it here.
So this is just like a year ago.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, but you're from
So
Seattle area, and
yeah,
why
born-
why Spokane?
So I got lost. So my ex-wife, she and I co-parent together or whatever. We met in Seattle area and then moved out to the East Coast, and then for a little bit of time moved down to Georgia, and then we were trying to pick where we wanted to go next because she wanted to switch jobs, and at the time I was working overseas, and so I could kind of live wherever. And so she and I both have family back in Seattle area, but she also has family in Rathdrum, Idaho. And so we're looking at either Colorado, like Boulder area for skiing, or Spokane because, family, and then also good skiing.
Yeah.
And so
I
looked at housing prices, I think, and I was like, yeah, Spokane, let's do that. It's a lot cheaper.
Spokane's probably the cheapest in the area right now.
Yeah. So we ended up deciding to move here a year and a half ago. And then I went back over to Iraq for another couple months, and then came back in December, a couple days before he showed up, and I closed on the house a couple days later to live, primary residence or whatever. And then a couple months later, we closed on our first flip house. And a couple months later, closed on our second flip house. And
nice. So have you flipped houses prior to that?
No, God, no.
Okay, you got to back the hell up. Back up.
Okay, back up a little.
Tell me. Okay, what got your wheels ticking about like, hey, we should flip houses?
So,
yeah, actually, I don't know what your original bug was for that.
Like, did you like hear a seminar on the radio or something like that?
No. The short version is my job, my profession. I was a pilot for 20 years, and flying airplanes and stuff took me overseas, and I was away from my son. So I was looking for some kind of a job that would provide income and then keep me close to my son to watch him grow up, because he is 12 years old now, and I figure I have maybe 2-3 more years where I'm not an asshole.
Yeah.
And then I'll be an asshole,
Yeah.
Right now,
I gotta go back to beating our kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I feel like as a country we've gotten away from that.
Yeah. Don't be an asshole.
We gotta get back to the abuse.
Wow. I like it.
I'm just somewhat kidding.
Somewhat kidding. Edit that out.
We don't do edits on this show.
So
we can. I mean, if you.
Fundamentally, I was around a bunch of guys that were going after money, and the money over there was stupid. It was $300+ a year salary, and for me, there's more to life than money. I wanted.
Wait, so that was flying airplanes?
Yeah, flying airplanes.
Wow.
So
he's an incredible pilot.
Well, yeah. I wanted to spend time with my son, and through his kind of adolescence, I was watching other guys who had families back home that missing out on birthdays, missing out on this, missing out, just missing life. And I kind of took stock of where I was at, and I determined that wasn't for me. I enjoy the money, believe me. I love spending money. Yeah. But I wanted to be closer to my son. So I was looking for either getting a job flying back in the States or something that would be interesting, something fun. So then I kind of stumbled on Bigger Pockets, and I was like, both feet just jumped in, let's go. Yeah. So I started reading all the books, listening to all the podcasts.
So how do you stumble upon like such a site like Bigger Pockets? Because I feel like that's not a site you just stumble upon.
Yeah, so uniquely, actually, it was my brother. He was like, I think you...
bigger something else. You're web searching. Bigger.
Let's
what's
not
in
talk
the
about my web history. Come on now.
What's this, real estate investing? That's not what I was going after, but sure.
Bigger package.
Biggerpackages.com. No, my brother actually, he's a doctor over in Seattle, and he's like, you know what, I think you should get into real estate. And I was like, yeah, sure, real estate, why not? It sounds great. So then I was like,
your brother?
Yeah, my older brother. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I started doing a little bit of research on real estate, and then I was like, oh, I'll just get my license. I mean, how hard is that? So a couple weeks studying, took the test.
2 weeks.
And whatever. Yeah, and then I was like, okay, now Bigger Pockets, they do a phenomenal job of kind of explaining or dumbing it down to the very basics. What is a flip? What is a wholesale? What is, this and that and the other thing? And so that kind of gave me the ideas, if you will, and then I was like, I want to flip. That's definitely where I'm at, because I knew this guy, and I was like, I've done work myself. I know he does really good work. Yeah. So let's see if we can make it work. Why not? So here we are.
Cool. So you decided you wanted to flip, and at that point, were you already in Spokane?
No, I was in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you do anything? Did you start any projects down there?
No.
Okay.
I
He just spent time in his RV.
yeah. So I like not working overseas, and so I don't know. 2019, I think I worked 3 months out of the year, and then the rest of the month I was just sitting like a bump in the log in my RV. So it was internet research, all kinds of learning.
I would call him to be like, all right, what's the next step? And he'd be like, sorry, I was napping. I was like,
What's the next
3 in the
step?
afternoon. We got, this is the beginning of 2019 when he finally pitches this to me, and I'm like, yeah, let's go,
Yeah. Einstein was a big napper.
Yeah. Scientifically, napping is actually strategic. That 2:30, 3 o'clock lull. What you're doing in the nap is actually transitioning short-term memory into long-term memory. It's actually really good for you. So I'm a big proponent of napping.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, Chris. What's
Jeez.
up with that? I should nap more. Is what
You
you're
should.
saying.
Yeah.
We should all take a nap right after this.
Right now.
And nap.
Right back. You can fast forward for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes. We'll be singing lullabies to each other.
Dude, those Google Nap Pods, though.
Oh, yeah.
I
There you
would
go.
love one of those.
What is the Google Nap Pod?
Google has these pods. They're nap pods so their employees can go into them and literally, it's a 20-minute just ambient noise or lighting, just quiet experience, and it recharges.
Oh, at like
their
a Google
batteries.
headquarters,
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
employees.
yeah. So,
Right.
You
Yeah.
were looking to order one, weren't you? Amazon.
Nah.
Napa.
I'm into the I like the float tanks.
Yeah.
I'll
Have
nap
you ever
in
done
those.
that?
Oh yeah.
Wait, like Stranger
Oh, yeah.
Things?
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
Stranger Things.
When they put the girl in salt water or whatever?
Yeah.
Is
same
that in
idea.
Stranger Things?
Yeah.
That's how 11
Oh, okay.
focuses her inner
To
chi to get into
find
the
people.
upside down.
No, to find people.
But wasn't she? No, she was just in a tank full of light with scientists watching her.
Water.
Wasn't she?
Water, salt water.
Yeah.
'Cause
But
remember
this
they
is
did that in
more
the school.
You're in a dark room, and then you put the lid down, and you're in complete silence.
What was
And
it
you're
like for
floating.
you?
I think it's great. I've done it. I've probably done it a dozen times.
Really?
But it's great. It's great to do. I need to get back in the habit of doing it maybe every couple weeks or so. But it's a good place to kind of. Well, the one that I went to shut down when COVID happened.
Oh, okay.
So I gotta look again. I think there's one in Post Falls actually.
They could just
But,
boil the water in between sessions.
It's great just to collect your thoughts, make decisions for the week. Everything
awesome.
that's been going
I
on.
would do that.
And it's just a great spot to kind of reset and you come out just feeling like $1 million. Like you've got you feel good about what you've done with life, and you got things that have been in your head. You got clarity about how you're making more decisions.
That's awesome.
Anyway, that's what it's done for me. Most people, I think, they probably just nap and jerk off. But
I mean,
kidding.
there's been weird.
We call those Tuesdays.
And we just lost 7 subscribers
Subscribers.
out of our 14.
Sorry, Mom.
Mom is done watching my show. Oh, dang it.
And that was the second time I got crabs.
Dad wouldn't even watch.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Yeah, so we did a couple of flips, and we found out that our kind of dollar per hour for flipping when we're doing the work ourselves wasn't that great in the grand scheme of things. We made money on both both of the flips, and we're currently still doing one right now. But
so let's hold on. You mind if I ask you about the
Yeah.
first experience? What was it like when you decide, okay, we're in Spokane now, and we're looking for a house to flip? What was that like? How'd you start off?
I feel, at least my point of view, was apprehension on we don't really know the cost of things. Even though I was a builder, Virginia prices are different from Spokane prices. We don't have any subcontractors lined up. One of the biggest things that when I had my company full blown on the East Coast was my subcontractors were A Squad. And I had 3 behind them. In case they couldn't. So Ryan and I were literally doing all of the work until we can find these trades that we trust, but also just finding a property. We're initially pricing ourselves out every time because we were playing the safe game.
I wanted to be really conservative with the acquisition, the overestimating the rehab, and then really conservative.
It's a
on
good tactic.
Yeah, but it also prices out of a lot of things.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I think you shouldn't get more than 1 out of 20 deals you go after.
Yeah. We see that now, but the flip game just doesn't have a ton of profitability, and it might be because I am used to such high-end work. It's so hard for me to back off everything I've ever known about carpentry and building a house and try to put it as a Spokane Valley standard, where it's just like people load like trim into a shotgun and then they just fire it at the door, and like that's considered acceptable here. And I'm not a big fan of that.
Well, I think you just got to stay. I mean, every neighborhood's going to be different. You just you got to bring the house up to the neighborhood, and I think a lot of people get confused about that. Yeah. They'll either underdo it or overdo it a little bit. They never get it perfect.
Sure,
unless you're me.
Nice.
Yeah, but I know my market.
Just the perfect every time.
I just put granite in a house on Bora Avenue, the worst street in Coeur d'Alene, so I overdo it sometimes too. But granite was $1,000.
Yeah.
For Micah would have been $800.
Yeah, so, $200. I mean, you know, it's durability. But are you keeping it as a rental or is this a flip?
I am flipping this house, but the last several houses I bought, other than spec homes I've been building, have all been like a Burr type of deal.
Sure.
I'm trying to keep them as rentals.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We've been doing butcher block countertops.
Oh.
The challenge with that is, where granite would be, let's say, $1,200 release over in Spokane to install for, average size, kitchen. We can get butcher blocks in there for $500 to $700 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But not including our time.
But the flip of that is that it requires more of our time because there's a lot more prep. And then, like, if you have two butcher block pieces, you have to stick them together somehow. Well, you can't just, from the top, screw them together. So you have to Craig screw them from the bottom and make, that seam disappear. And so there's a lot more prep time or effort into it. So when we actually broke down the numbers, I think we're going to be doing granite because you're just paying, that one time.
Plus everybody loves granite. Or quartz.
We had a lot of people really enjoy the butcher block, though.
Yeah,
we
did have.
But everyone loves granite and quartz.
It's true.
Not everybody's going to love butcher block.
Depending on the granite and quartz, though, because it could be the wrong color.
And prep time, as you probably know, is like 80% of the job with almost everything you do.
Yeah. We learned.
And it's hard to put that in your calculations over time.
Yeah, exactly.
You just think, this takes this will take a day. And 4 days of prep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That. Oh, yeah.
I think there's two big takeaways that we got from our first project over on Queen Ave.
So how much how did you find this property?
So we found it through David Clinton, actually found it for us, and he had lined up funding through Allen and PMC.
Okay.
And then
so you found it? Did he wholesale it to you?
No, he was actually a partner. He
was a partner. Okay.
Yeah, in the project, and so we did the work. Basically, the acquisition price was $155,000.
So $155. It was a hard money loan.
Yeah, hard money, and then we put 70 into it, 69,
73.5.
73.5. Yeah.
Did you get the acquisition fully? Did you get a loan for the whole acquisition? Just come in with the rehab money?
Yeah. So we came in with the rehab money and then did the rehab out of pocket, and then
70, and you're doing the work.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a big gut job.
Yeah, it was.
Well, the four most expensive words of that project were
just hear me out.
Yeah. Can we just push this wall back?
I just want to open it all up.
Oh, you went all HGTV.
Yeah, I did.
We gotta open
Chris's
Ty Pennington said we could move the furnace to the other side of the house cheaply. Okay, well, no. But we did end up moving the furnace, and it worked out.
Worked out well.
It did work out really well. There's a funny story. I'm doing demo while Ryan's off with his family doing something. I forget, you went up to Wapato or something like that. And I'm demoing the staircase downstairs, and I hear this like demon voice. Yeah, coming out of I couldn't find where it was coming from. It was inside the newel posts. It was just 4 pieces of 1x when it was hollow. And it was a child's recording device that goes inside like a stuffed animal or something. But the batteries were dying, so it sounded demonic. Okay? Nice. And it scared... I don't get really scared in houses too often. I was
Yeah.
like, what is this thing?
I that would freak me out.
Yeah,
So
I was
he kicks the
alone.
newel post over and it's like, he's like, what the hell?
I thought it was like a ravenous raccoon or something. At first,
Right,
I didn't
yeah.
know it was in the newel post. Finally, I found it, and I was like, golly, that was scary.
You said that, golly, that was
No,
scary.
I probably said,
Gee
what
willikers,
the
man.
fuck? You know what I mean? Like, gee willikers, mister.
That sure is frightening.
So, yeah, that was pretty terrifying. But other than that, that house went fairly smooth. I told Ryan that...
How long did it take you guys?
So, this is funny. In Virginia... concrete is a lot softer, even on the older homes. So here they're like, let's throw in boulders and like titanium and like whatever like is the hardest material.
There's a car we're not using anymore.
Yeah, just throw it
Yeah.
in there, you know.
Yeah.
So we rented a wet saw, and I've cut window wells before, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, we'll get it done in a couple hours. 2 windows, no big deal. We were there for 10 fucking hours.
Completely drenched.
Head to toe.
You hook up the hose.
Gasoline
Yeah.
smell.
Are you cutting for, like,
There's
egress
3
windows?
inches
So-
of water in the
yeah,
basement, which is completely gutted at this point, so it didn't matter. But like,
Yeah.
we cut in these 2 windows, and at the end of it, we were like, we're never doing that again. Ever. It opened it up. The basement looked great because we added 2 bedrooms downstairs. We made it a 3-1
4.
into a 4-2.
Yes.
So, and we were proud of that fact because we didn't like grandfather in the eyebrow window just because it says it on the MLS. You know, we take pride in actually being able to say this is a bedroom, not just because someone called it a bedroom before. You know, because
legal.
a firefighter can get in here, which
Yep.
that's one of our biggest moral standards. Like if we find out in tube the electrical's coming out, if we find that there's a bedroom without an escape option, second escape option, then yeah, we put in the correct things. I never want to be responsible for someone's kid or death.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. So
That's very sweet of you.
So
thanks. I just got a little emotional.
Tearing up right now. No, just kidding.
So the overhaul rehab we did basically got the majority of the basement, moved the furnace from under the stairs to around the corner, and then opened up kind of like created a little mechanical room, and then 2 bedrooms downstairs with egress windows, and then upstairs we added a bathroom off of the master along with a private deck off the back of that. So that one,
Okay.
all said and done, it took us 4 months to get everything all done, and then up on the market another month or so to sell.
So that was with you guys doing a
All
lot
the
of the
Yeah.
all the plumbing, electrical. And
Yeah, well, we had an electrician come in because we
Okay.
we were told by the city that if we were keeping it as homeowners, we can do it, but since we were upfront, we're
Right.
flipping it, then we have to have a licensed electrician come
Yeah,
in.
I've been through that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was similar rules in Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's gray areas though where you can get around it. If you can hold on to it for a year, you can
Yeah.
count as the homeowner to do the work yourself. Not
Right.
electrical, but
Intend
plumbing
to.
and structural. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we found that out the hard way about the electrical because I was planning on doing it. I'm really happy I didn't because I know enough to get it going, but the code, as of recently even, is changing so much drastically in the electrical world. Like everything is arc fault protection now. Like
Yeah,
you
there's
can't
a
just
lot.
run one wire to one fixture from the switch anymore. It has to have a complete dual wire loop now, which is insane. Every box that could be a light box, every box now that could be a ceiling fan has to be a ceiling fan box. So you can't just do surface mounts if you don't want a fan. It
Right.
doesn't matter. It has to be able to support a fan now, which I think is ludicrous.
Above 10
Just
feet.
is this
Yeah.
for the stupid homeowners that are like, can we put a fan where my Halo was? Like, no. Like, now it costs me
Well, can you get a remodel
$42 to get a
box
fan
for-
box up there. Like, it's,
Yeah. Do they make remodel fan boxes?
yeah, they make there's the ones that like you can slide up into the hole and it has like augmented boom arms that like you stick a tool into and start screwing it and the arms will come out and
Right.
fasten to whatever the joists are.
Yeah, they'll just
They've
pinch
got,
a
like-
wire and spark it.
Exactly.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, I
Everything's
didn't think
fine.
about that. If there is a wire run alongside the joist, that would Yeah.
pinch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
YOLO.
It's probably a good chance it won't.
Not my house.
But yeah, that's why it helps. I use, on my second flip, I learned how to wire a house on YouTube, and
Nice.
I wired a house.
That's awesome. What could go wrong?
I won't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Yeah, you learned a lot.
Yeah, it was confusing, but I figured it out.
That's awesome.
3-way switches and stuff were a little
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, electricians are worth their money.
Yeah, they are. And a good one, too.
And they're quick, especially
Yeah.
if walls are open.
Yeah. If you pick the right one.
Yeah.
So, let's see. We put 155. We put 70 into it. And then what was our sales price?
263.5. No, that was our second house.
Yeah.
We sold it. We went for 280. We got 265.
267.
267.
That's right. 267.
Yeah.
Okay, how long ago was this?
This was we closed
May?
May. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And then we pulled the funds from that one after closing.
Were you so this is kind of newer with COVID, right? A couple
Yeah.
months in, or
Yeah,
so.
We were terrified
Were
because
you
the housing
terrified
market
about that
kind
too?
of dropped.
So were you, yeah,
And then all of a sudden, boom, the housing market, no inventory.
Yeah.
There was like 5 houses. You know what I mean? Like,
Everybody's scared. and
Yeah.
then people were still buying.
right when COVID hit, I passed on a flip that would have netted me like 120 grand.
oh.
Bro.
But it was like
Shoulda,
right
coulda,
after it
woulda.
happened, all these lenders are just like, "Whoa, we're not going to," because
Yeah.
it seemed like, "Oh, we have a worldwide pandemic now, and the market's finally going to tank."
Yeah, even Wells
But just-
Fargo nixed the HELOCs. Like,
Yeah.
that's scary. Like, where people are like, oh, crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then the market we had already purchased our next flip, which we hadn't seen yet. So,
What?
that's another fun story.
So you purchased another flip that you hadn't seen.
Well, we saw pictures.
Wait,
It
so
looked
did you
shiny.
guys do good then on that first one after hard money fees and lender split,
Had we-
partner splits and all?
Yeah, all said and done, 32,000 was profit, and then we split that with David, and we took the other half. So that's where
Okay.
our hourly rate for the amount of time, effort, and money that we put in.
Right, you would have made
wasn't-
more just probably being a contractor.
That's
Yeah, we're
correct.
buying Bitcoin
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Right.
Jesus, that's true.
But at least you're getting the experience.
Yeah.
Figuring out. Yep.
No, we are. Every house that we do, we learn a bunch.
If you don't lose money on your first couple of flips, you're getting a good education, I feel like.
No,
Even if you've already, fixed up houses, but there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's about making the right decisions for what is the market going to bear
Yeah.
and all that.
We
Yeah.
definitely had some good takeaways from.
Oh, it's
our first
phenomenal.
one, yeah.
I think, every house that we've done, we've learned a lot. And it sucks that you have to learn, but you have to learn at some point in time, especially when you're starting out, and there's tremendous resources out there and awesome people in the community that you can ask questions for and reach out to and say, hey, here's the issue that I'm struggling with. But at the end of the day, you have to learn those lessons yourself to figure out, okay, what's your niche, and that's kind of where we're transitioning a little bit right now.
If we're going to do another flip, it would not be to focus on the house at all. It would just be like put up like a 60 by 40 shed, and then the homeowner wouldn't care about what the house condition is. Because the one thing in Spokane that I always say is a homeowner buys a shack, puts up a mansion of a shed, and then buys an RV. Like, what is that?
They do that
Everybody here, and like all the toys they need.
Yeah.
You could care less. What is that over there? Oh, that's just my house. Don't worry about that. It's just the shed, RV,
it's
and
funny.
toys.
It's funny that you say it. Well, we call it a shop here, man.
Okay.
I'm building a house in Post Falls, and I know we're gonna get at least $500,000 for it
Yeah.
because it's gonna have a 30 by 40 shop.
Oh,
Oh,
hell
yeah.
The house, like, it's gonna have 3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
Yeah.
It's like 1,500 square
Whatever.
feet.
Well, that's
It's
just
not
where I
gonna be,
sleep. Don't
but
worry
like
about that.
people are like, oh my god,
was-
you got a shop for all my because you're in an area where recreation is king, and people like to accumulate over time
Yeah, toys.
toys,
Yeah.
and these toys take up a lot of space. And just living up here, you're going to want a truck, you're going to want plow stuff, you're going to want all kinds of, America. Dirt bikes,
Yeah.
snowmobiles,
Yeah.
boats,
I get
RVs. It adds up.
I like the idea
And-
of a shop because I've always wanted like a Norm. I want to retire as a furniture maker, so I've
Yeah.
always wanted like a Norm Abrams style shop.
And I think most guys like fantasize about having a shop if they don't yet. I
Yeah.
know I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a shop that's rented out.
We're gonna do.
but one
eventually,
day
I
I'm
think,
gonna have my
a
own
shop
shop.
slash hangar
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I was talking to an appraiser yesterday. And he was appraising a house that we were looking at buying, and we started BSing, and he was talking about auxiliary dwelling units. And he said that's the one bang for buck. It returns $1.25 for every dollar that you put in from an appraiser's standpoint.
Yeah.
And I was blown away.
Oh, and I got a huge tidbit for everybody out there, quick tip or whatever you want to call it.
All 16
that I
of them.
learned recently. If anybody out there owns property in the city of Hayden, either just rental property or their own house, on most lots you can build an ADU up to 800 square feet, or potentially 1,000 square feet. After March, they're going to vote on it. It could go up to 1,000, and normally you'd have to be living on the property in most of these jurisdictions, like in order to qualify for an ADU. So you'd have to live in the house or the ADU, but the city of Hayden, they'll let investors do it. You don't have to live there. So there's a lot of untapped potential out there in Hayden. Just
Throwing
let
that
you guys know.
Where is Hayden?
Hayden's just north of Coeur d'Alene here.
Oh, okay.
It's the next city up. It's
I haven't got
3
my
minutes.
bearings
3 minutes down the road.
straight from
Yeah.
just being here a year.
Yeah.
I still think the South Hill is north of the city to me for some reason. So
Well, it's north of Pullman. Pullman's
South here, isn't that south?
it is, yeah.
So-
I'm not great with I'm directionally challenged, so
He's cute.
Oh,
pretty ass.
directionally challenged. You did come from the east. With your words. Just kidding. Sorry, I'm not shitting on you too much.
That's fine. No, we shit each other all freaking day. Trust me.
It's
Okay.
fun.
So, were you guys expecting to get the price that you got for the house? The first flip?
Honest to God, one of the hardest things to do is put a number on your property, because especially with
So you didn't have that determined prior?
No, we did.
We did,
But it was
okay.
conservative.
It was
so,
conservative. What, 255?
Well, hold on a
Okay.
sec. So initially we ran our budget, and we were like, "Yeah, we're gonna flip this thing for $37,000." So we doubled that, and then
I double my budgets all of the
yeah.
time.
And then as we're going through this, I'm running comps because I'm supposedly a realtor, and I have access to be able to look at comps. And every month during this rehab, it was going up. I was like, okay. So towards the end, we were like, hey, let's just try this number and see if it works. And
Did you list
sure
the
enough.
property?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun.
Was it your first listing?
Yeah.
There was our one saving grace on that Queen Ave was right down the road across the street, 2-3 houses down across the street.
Just sold, yeah. That's
Just sold for $298, but it was a
Okay.
5-bedroom,
Help
2
with
bath.
comps.
So it was like a perfect comp. So we were like, screw it, we got to afford to. Let's go for 280.
Yeah.
And everybody that looked at it loved it, but they were like, this isn't worth 280. And we're like, we know. You know what I mean?
We
Like,
know.
but if I had to change something about that, instead of I moved the main wall between the master and the upstairs guest bedroom to accommodate a master suite bathroom. I would have put a second bathroom in the basement I didn't want to do any concrete cutting or
on the floor, though.
groundwork, plumbing.
But you have a second bath.
But there is a second bath.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
But it's just
Now, I don't know
funky.
the Spokane market as well as I do like this Kootenai County and stuff.
Yeah.
but I would say if you got afford to,
There was a private entrance.
you're in a market where buyers looking for a 4-bedroom house are okay with 2 bathrooms.
Yeah.
One of the weirdest questions that we kept on getting from people was, does it have a sprinkler system?
Does it have a sprinkler system?
That was, I mean, being from wherever, that was kind
we
of
learned
new to us.
why, because the one thing I miss about the East Coast is that it rains in
Yeah.
the summertime, and here it's just talcum powder for 5 months.
Yep. Well, yeah, solid couple of months. July can be brutal.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
a lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was our kind of one takeaway that we still haven't done yet in our other flips.
Don't worry about it. It's not worth it.
I
Yeah.
don't care.
In general.
That's kind of my feeling. Like, if you really want a sprinkler system,
It's not going to be a deal killer, though. You got to
Yeah.
understand like what's a deal killer and what's not, and it's
Yeah.
usually, you got to have the appearance
Yeah.
up front. Is it a freshly painted house?
Yeah.
We also bought
And
all the
you have new
appliances.
flooring.
And then we talked to our guys over at TC Lending. Shout out to them because they're awesome.
They are phenomenal. There's a fun
TC
story.
Lending?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
hard money lenders.
Okay.
Local
And
guys.
they were like, don't fucking buy a fridge. And we're like,
Yeah, I don't buy fridges anymore.
And he goes, don't fucking buy a washing machine. And we're like, all right, did we buy the dishwasher? He's like, yeah. Buy
Yeah,
that
of course.
shit.
Dishwasher, range, microwave. Those three.
Just those three.
Yeah. So,
Do you guys stage your houses?
No, we heard some horror stories about the staging stuff getting stolen. And then you're on the hook for it if it gets stolen. But I'm
I
sure,
looked into
like,
digitally staging some, but I felt like our house price points weren't really, I don't know, required. I don't know. What's your take on staging?
I'm a believer in staging now.
Okay.
But it depends on what.
What made you a believer?
Just because I'm also a real estate agent, and I sell a lot of houses, and I know the difference between flippers that put their houses on the market that are recently remodeled, but they're vacant, totally empty.
Yeah.
People that walk around, they're walking around an empty house, and they're just judging the fuck out of the construction work that was done. That's all they're doing.
So it's a diversion.
All they're doing is trying to justify the work that was done because they know it was just recently remodeled and they're just looking for imperfections. And when you're flipping a house, it's not new construction.
Yeah.
There's still going to be little flaws here and there. Nothing's going to be perfect, but people are just their mindset is somewhere else.
Yeah.
Versus when you have staging in the house, they come in, they know everything's done, and they're trying to imagine themselves living there with that couch, and they typically sell much faster and for more. And I have had it at least 2 or 3 times I know of where I was a listing agent. We put a flipper's house on the market vacant, and we got some decent feedback, but some people were we're not sure about the renovation. It looked a little cheap or something like that.
Sure.
We took the house off the market for 2 weeks because our MLS requires us to keep it. If we withdraw it, we can't put it back on for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we take the listing off for 2 weeks, get it staged, put it back on, and the feedback changes dramatically. We get an offer. The feedback is amazing job on the renovation.
Are there
Incredible? This looks so good. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. But like when people walk through a house, they're looking at the furniture and stuff too. Like HGTV never shows a finished vacant house. They show it all staged because staging works.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's been clinically proven to sell for
9
more.
out of 10 doctors
Faster.
approve.
So now, and we like.
So digital versus real staging. You would say real because they are walking the house rather than just looking at the shiny pictures.
Look, I know it's really tempting because I've flipped a lot of houses.
Yeah.
It's really tempting when you're done to just be done, throw it on the market. It's gonna sell. People are gonna love it.
Yeah.
But I've changed over time. I know. You got to put the icing on the cake.
Okay.
And what you've done with flipping a house is you've made a cake. It's come out of the oven. It's ready to eat.
Yeah.
But put the icing on. People love the icing. And that's the furniture.
Okay.
And it's worth the money. You're gonna get. It's all about returns and
Ballpark
profits.
In the back of your mind, how much do you spend on staging, or what's that cost?
Typically, you're going to spend probably $1,800 or so with a stager. What we did, since we're building multiple houses, is because we knew like the next 6 houses were going to cost us about $14,000. Let's just spend $5,000. Have my wife order everything on Amazon. We got a storage unit for $40 a month, and we had a little staging party. It took us a day with my team.
Yeah.
We put all the furniture together, and the house we built the exact same house before that and didn't stage it, and we had a hell of a time with the buyer, and we had to make almost $4,000 in concessions doing random stuff and buying them a fridge and all this stuff to keep them happy, keep them in the deal. The next one, we're like, we're not doing that anymore. Let's just go the scientific route.
Okay.
We'll wait until it's completely done, then we'll put furniture in the house, stage it right, photos and all on the wall and all that stuff.
Dick
And it
pics,
totally
or-
worked. Dick pics. Yep.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Dick statues. No, just kidding.
That's funny.
But there's zero complaint. People walk through the house. It's amazing.
Oh,
It's
that's
amazing.
awesome.
Because they're not looking at the drywall anymore. They're not looking at like the little
quarter-inch gap in the baseboard.
Yeah, the quarter-inch gap in the baseboard over there that you can clearly see when the house is empty.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
So
Thank you.
The murder a red wall that
Oh my God,
bled
yeah.
through the new coat of paint.
And people buy off emotion, not logic.
Yeah.
And when they're walking in and they fall in love with the place,
Yeah.
money becomes not the main priority anymore.
We experienced that on our second one. It was like on the market for 2 days, and we had 3 offers.
15 showings in 22 hours.
Yeah, and then the offer. So we listed at $259, and then we the offer that we accepted was an escalation clause up to $280. So that beat out all other offers
With
by
$1,000
$1,000
more to the lowest offer.
Yeah, so we ended up closing 263.
Oh, sorry, to the highest offer. The next highest offer, 1,000 more.
But you're right. It's emotion based. I feel like the person that bought our second flip home was definitely like in love with it and just sure, whatever, let's go.
It was a really cute house.
Yeah, it was.
But it wasn't easy.
So that one we purchased. It's kind of a fun story. We purchased during COVID, and we closed on it April 1st. And so we had hard money lenders lined up for acquisition price was $140,000, and we hadn't seen the house. And the
Now, was this while you were doing your first one too?
Yeah.
Okay, so you bought 2 at a time.
Finishing
The first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we, our hard money lender, local hard money lender, walked the house.
So back up if you don't mind.
yeah.
So how'd you find this one?
Sell It Simple, Danny.
Okay, wholesaler.
Wholesaling, yeah. And
Right on.
AJ, those guys.
Danny was on this podcast.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. We found it through him, so it was just one of his houses that he just put out, and so we originally had it at 140. Then our lender backed out because he saw the state of the basement, and there were some issues about trying to get in because they had small kids and all that. They were worried about COVID and all that. So we ended up scheduling with Danny and AJ to go take a look at this house, and then finally we went in there and looked at it.
God.
And it was a kind of like a hoarder house. And we went downstairs, and I could see Chris's eyes just get really big as he's looking up at the ceiling. And
It looked like a blind one-armed man with a chainsaw was trying to do gymnastics down there.
Cool.
Cut main beams under the floor and just put in a rando 2x4 here and there to support the entire house.
He must have rented out one of my houses too, because I know that guy.
And the entire first floor package was framed with 2x4s.
Oh wow!
So the entire house bounced as you walked through it.
It was fun.
Wow.
Super fun.
And you bought it anyway.
We had already purchased it.
Oh, you had already bought it.
We had agreed to buy it. We hadn't closed on it yet, and so now we just saw it.
We had
and we're like,
$5,000 in earnest
"Holy
money
fuck."
down.
So we had one hard money lender that was like, "No, get bent. I'm not lending on this," and we're freaking out a little bit, right?
In the
So I
car
reached-
ride back, though, he was like, dude,
on a scale of 1 to 10,
I was like, hard 7. Let's fuck it. We'll give him our earnest money. He goes, really?
We were gonna
You're
walk
saying
away.
this?
we
I'm
were
like,
gonna walk
yup.
away from $5
So this is
grand.
right. You were gonna walk away.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we had already put $5,000 earnest money or whatever. And
Are you glad you didn't walk away, or are you?
Yeah, I'm glad.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
it was fun.
Ryan wheeled and dealed, though, and then COVID had just hit.
So
It played a great factor in negotiating the price lower.
Okay.
So one local hard money lender was out. I had another one lined up, but they were based in Seattle. And then a couple of days prior to closing, they said, "Hey, we're not lending due to COVID." So I reached out to Danny and I said, "Hey, here's the deal. We're having some issues because we got an estimate back for basically jacking up the entire house, replacing all the subfloor, and then lowering it back down. It's going to be probably about $30,000. Our two lenders now have backed out. We can't come up with the funds." And so Danny was like, "Well, are you guys still willing to close?" And I was like, "Yeah, but this is a scary project." He's like, "All right."
But Danny's a wizard, and he can go get price reductions.
Yeah, so he went to bat for us, and
Yeah.
begrudgingly, I could kind of tell a little bit. So he came back and said, "All right, would 110 work?" And we were like, "Yeah, it would, but we need hard money because we don't have we were sitting on 70, 80 grand in cash or whatever that we needed to use to flip."
Yeah.
But we didn't have the acquisition price. And so he's like, "I got these guys, TC Lending, they've bought houses from us. let me, give them a call, see if they'll lend on it. And so I called those guys, and within 2 days, 3 days of not even knowing us, they were out at the house willing to lend, and then guided us on the rehab. And they're like, yeah, we've been in your position. Do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this, do this, and then do this with the house. And we're like, great, awesome, wonderful. So we finally were able to close. They, brought us the money, and it was the weirdest thing because we bought it for whatever, 110, 120 after all said and done, fees and title and stuff, and then they lent us 140. So I bought a house and I walked away with close to 20 grand. It was the weirdest experience. I'm like, I don't think this is normal.
Which actually helped us finish.
Yeah.
So that was like some of your renovation money?
Yeah,
They
so
let
that
you
was some of
renovation?
the renovation. To be transparent, we actually used some of that to finish clean because we were running low on funds.
It's funny.
Our $37,000 budget ballooned.
I would say probably 3 out of 4 houses I buy, I walk away with money at the table.
That's awesome.
We just got dyslexic with our first house numbers. 37, 73, whatever.
Well, no, we initially started with 37.
I know, we got
Yeah,
dyslexic.
73, yeah, that's right.
so-
I see what you're saying.
We ended up jacking the house off the foundation and reframing the entire first floor package from underneath. Put in 2 brand new engineered glue lamps, widened the staircase, put it all back down, it all settled. She fought us. She was like, like the whole time. She wasn't
The
happy,
house
but I
was
wasn't
not
going to
happy.
touch anything upstairs before that first floor was sound.
Again, kind of going back to the ethos, like we want to take pride in our work, make sure that like people are not going to die after they buy our house.
Yeah.
Right.
But all new plumbing, all new electrical, all new. We did just forced hot air with the fans, the heat boxes.
Yeah.
So
In-wall
no
unit.
furnace, but brand new water heater and all that, and carpeting downstairs, LVP upstairs, and it was, and a lot of we focused more on landscaping this time. Actually,
Yeah.
we flattened out the yard, put a big deck off the back, and seeded it, and that I feel
Yeah, it did a little
really
bit of a
went.
job.
I wish we had done more with the lawn to the first house.
Yeah, so
Right,
the
yeah.
first house was where we got the idea that landscaping, because we focused entirely on the house, but nothing on the lawn, and it looked like
I did that for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally know what you're saying.
Yeah,
And it wasn't until maybe the last 2 years where I started actually putting in a landscape budget.
yeah, exactly.
Because before I would just never even think,
Yeah.
it's just, we'll sell during the winter.
Yeah.
It'll be snowy. Who cares?
Not a bad call.
Yeah.
No
So-
one will see it.
Yeah, so all said and done, that one took a little bit longer to renovate, and we ended up selling that November. We were under contract, closed middle of December.
We did cut 2 egress windows into that one, and we
Yeah.
called these guys. You're not getting our contact, so nice try. But
give it
these
to
two kids, you can. I don't.
No, they're phenomenal.
Oh, you got somebody else to cut the windows?
These
You
two
didn't want
guys
to do it
come
this
in.
way?
In 3 hours and $500, they cut 2 egress windows in, and they were gone.
Were they Russian?
No, they're actually local here. One guy, he's come a few times with me. I'll introduce you.
Okay.
But
Really good dudes, and they
phenomenal.
and they fell trees too. They're like
Yeah.
monkeys. They're awesome.
They climb a tree, yeah. So
Fair enough.
Yeah, good guys, really good guys.
So through that process, we ended up going into negotiations with the neighbor next door and a guy named Kelly. Kelly was buying a house from a guy named John. John was a former helicopter pilot, and he and I hit it off immediately. And now we're in the process right now closing on John's house, his other house that we're buying March 1st. So it was kind
This
of
is for us though.
a weird relationship. So we
Not
ended
a
up
flip.
buying Kelly's house next door, and that one we were going to wholesale, but the wholesale kind of fell through. And then one of the things we were talking about on the way over here was, I wish we had gotten after this a little bit sooner, because it's literally been sitting since November, I don't know, 15th or 20th or whatever, whenever we closed on it. And we were just like, oh yeah, we'll just, wholesale it, and nobody's buying it. So it's like, all right, let's go ahead and just flip it. But that one's going to be a little bit more like lipstick the pig rather than a full gut rehab, because it's not bad. It's just, a little funky.
You say that now.
Yeah.
And then you're
hold
going
my
to really
beer.
get into
It would be
it.
a perfect house for somebody like myself who can do the trades but wants a place to live, a first-time house or something like that, to where they could just spend 17 weekends putting this thing together, and it would probably net another 35,000, 40,000, but just doing it timely and methodically on weekends. But we don't want it on our books anymore, so we got to get this thing going.
So, yeah, we had some plumbing issues with that house. That was the knife that fell that we were talking about earlier.
Can you tell that story?
Yeah. So
it sounded pretty funny.
The gist was,
Listen up, everyone.
we had purchased the house. Kelly had moved all of his stuff out, and I wanted to put it up on, as a wholesale, but it was kind of still pretty dirty, dusty, dog hair, stuff like that, right? So I had a cleaning lady come in, and she was doing a phenomenal job. She's cleaned our other house for us, and so anyways, while she was cleaning, she knocked a knife off the counter, and it was a 1 in a million shot where the knife literally just went down and nicked this water line that was going to the fridge that was taken. Or
Final
whatever.
destination.
I'm with my
Yeah, it was completely Final Destination.
I had flown back to Massachusetts. I'm with my girlfriend Kayla in Mass, and it's like 7 p.m. We just like sat down to dinner with my parents, and I get this like, do you know where the main shutoff is? Like phone call. So I'm like, what?
I get a call from the cleaning lady. She's like, your house is flooding. You need to come here. I'm like, what the hell did you do?
Oh, you weren't there when she did it. Okay.
No, I wasn't. So I'm 15 minutes away, and I'm calling the Kelly, the previous owner, and then I called Chris because I couldn't get a hold of him. I was like, dude, where's the main water shutoff? It's flooding. So I go in there, and of course, it scared the shit out of him.
He doesn't call me back for an hour. I'm like,
because
is
now
it
I'm
fixed?
dealing with it.
Yeah, you're dealing
So
with it. You can't
I
answer the
called
phone.
Kelly, the original homeowner. I was like, where's the main shutoff? I should have known that, before.
Yeah.
And that's the number
It's the
one
last thing you think of.
Is
It needs to be the first thing.
It
though.
needs to be the first thing. Know where the main shutoff is, and whether or not it actually works.
Yeah,
Yep.
we've had that issue.
Oh yeah, the guys from the city said this whole block, you couldn't shut down an individual house. There was no like water key or anything location.
really?
It was an entire block shut off, right?
Well,
So
that's
I've got
smart.
all my stuff that I need ready to go to change the main water shut off, because the guys who shut it down, they won't change your valve for you on the house. So we had to put in a new gate. Well, it was a gate valve. I wanted to switch it to a lever. And so 4 of them are standing around me, and they're like, and they're laughing already. And I'm like, what? And they're like, dude, we shut off the water, but you realize there's still 4 other houses that are pressurizing this spot, right? I'm like, shit. So like, I like unscrew, and it's like, poof, and I'm like, ah! And I had to get the new one on. And they've all seen it before, clearly.
Oh,
So yeah, when you have an entire block to shut down, you have everyone's second story pressure still pushing on the water supply line.
yeah.
So
times.
yeah.
That sounds like hell.
So long story short, we got the water shut off, and after the under the sink shut off broke, the little ball valve for this little refrigerator line off of the feeder line broke, and
You're just
then
breaking everything
I
you
just
touch.
broke like it was one of those like you're freaking out, you're retarded kid
it's
strength,
clink!
and
Yeah.
it comes off in your hand.
I've
and
got
you're
the
just
same
like,
thing. Everything I touch, I break.
Yeah, like,
Just my
awesome.
hands are extremely strong.
So we get that fixed. The other issue that we just had fixed on that was the main stack for sewage and stuff was coming out going into the foundation
completely
wall.
split open on the top.
And they had I don't know if Kel did it or
HVAC tape.
they had like HVAC tape,
Oh,
like
that's
the metal tape, not even
Yeah.
like duct tape. Duct tape I would have understand because it's not like Flex Seal that seals everything, but it
should be
has some
Flex Seal.
qualities. But it was
We should have done that. Flex seal.
Flex Seal. So this is like this 12-inch long
spray paint
gash into this pipe, and we're like, well, that's not gonna pass any inspection whatsoever.
So we had to cut the concrete because it was like right up to the foundation, but then it stopped. So they had to cut out the foundation, put in a clean out the other side. It was a big one, but at least it's done. Now we can finish off that bathroom and try to put it on the MLS for. We were trying to unload it for 205, and now we're thinking we might be able to get 235 after we do this bathroom.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then
you gonna
paint.
stage it, you think?
I think we
I think
might
maybe now.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea because it is kind
Just
of
do
a
it.
funky layout, though.
Oh, then definitely stage
just
it.
fucking do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, just finish your rehab.
The only thing that like is a huge turnoff, especially to me, and Ryan, it's not comfortable to go down the stairs to the base. It's the smallest staircase I've ever
narrow
used.
and
Both
like,
my shoulders touch on the walls when I'm trying to walk down.
and
Right
steep.
on.
And steep, yeah. It's perfect slinky stair. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I've been through those. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I built those. No, I'm just-
somewhere along the lines,
Almost a ladder.
we ended up buying a couple of pieces of property, which is kind of like our fundamental transition from flipping into getting into new
I'm
builds.
so excited about
So we
that.
have
no
two-
more from Mac.
Well, now that you've got 2 flips under your
no
belt.
more.
Yeah.
Right.
I used to build new
Get in
homes
it.
though in Virginia.
Right, okay, so this isn't
So
new
no
to you.
more.
Well-
Like my biggest pet peeve in the field is getting blown in insulation dropped on me. I lose it. He's seen it a bunch of times. I made phone calls to people and told him just to fuck off. And he's like, "Who'd you call?" I don't know, just some random guy. I hate it. Hate it.
So just don't be around during insulation day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So part of the I don't know, self-learning, discovery, whatever you want to call it, was a lot of the rehabs that we're doing is not adding value. For example, we spent probably about 10 grand and 2 months worth of labor, just time, jacking up this house, redoing the you know, all that stuff. So it's structurally safe and it's sound, but it wasn't adding value to the house. Where we were feeling like if we transition into new builds, everything you're doing is potentially adding value to the house. You're not trying to fix other people's mistakes and then getting it back to where it needs to be. So,
But we did get
New construction is
35
very boring and predictable,
yeah. So
I
but-
love that.
and extremely profitable if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
So the idea is, again, like what Chris touched on earlier, was getting our trades kind of lined up so we have a kind of an army of people ready to go is going to be the big challenge. And we're going to flesh that out with the flips that we've done and then also the 2 new builds. What we want to get into is doing cottage developments where you can put up to 1,000 square feet or 1,200 square feet if it has a little loft area. And then there has to be green space around the house, plus pathways and walkways. And you can do these little cluster developments of cottages in Spokane Valley and stuff like that, that you can fit potentially 10 houses to 12 houses per acre.
Wow.
So looking for like a 5-10 acre type of parcel where we can do like a little cottage community type of thing.
Yep.
And I don't want to say it's like affordable housing, but it is like a little bit cheaper housing.
Sounds like a
If we
trailer
could-
park with
it-
foundations.
Yeah, but if we could
It
make
is,
it,
but nicer houses.
but,
Right.
yeah, but if we could make
double
them
wides.
energy efficient, so like radiant slab, maybe solar roof, right?
Yep.
We'd also get a credit from.
You
This, so
I got an email a couple days ago from Greenstone, the large home builder
Yeah.
in the area.
yeah,
Starting now, all their homes are going to come standard with solar power.
yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
and you get rebates from the state for that. Back from the state, like if you classify it.
With the state of Washington. Right?
Oh, this is Idaho. Yeah, you're
Maybe Idaho too. I don't know.
So we want to make them energy efficient and a super high R value. If you have a higher UI than like 95% efficiency or something like that, then you also get a rebate. So like closed cell spray and foam is a great way to get to that number, and like triple pane windows. And there's only like 5 windows per of these.
So who gives the
cottages.
rebates? The state?
The state.
Is
You-
it like
you-
a tax rebate?
Yeah. So
Okay.
and it can either be passed to whoever buys the house, or you can just collect it because you're the builder. So, building these communities, we can build. We kind of just back of the napkin numbers. We could put up these like cottages for like $1.25 to $1.30, and then we want to price them at like $199.
Uh-huh.
And having a brand new build at that price, I think in this area, people would go insane. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
the next
What kind of
generation.
new
Affordable housing.
Yeah.
Is there any new construction out there under 200 right now?
Not really.
Not that I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. So there's a nonprofit group, like a religious organization that deals with women's abuse type shelter stuff, and they've done a cottage development in Spokane, kind of on the north side of the city, and so their kind of model, they were kind of like the groundbreakers, if you will, for this area. And I know like City of Spokane Valley and even the City of Spokane are kind of pushing this as an alternative, development to, rather than doing like an apartment complexes or, duplexes or triplexes or something like that, that they want to do alternative but very economically or ecologically friendly. So this cottage development, you have a certain amount of setbacks for green spaces for lawns. You have to have a certain amount of
800
plants.
square feet of common space.
Yeah, so there's common spaces for all the houses, plus pathways or walkways in between the houses, and then lots of plants and shrubberies that are all kind of this requirement in order to build.
Parking for 2 or 3 parking spots per cottage, plus some covered.
That's a lot of parking for 1 acre.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
two spaces per cottage, but then you also have covered for ADA spots.
Uh-huh.
So it has to be like porticos or something like that over some of the spaces. A percentage, I think it's like 20% or something.
Yeah, it's one spot for every 2 bedrooms for the first 2 bedrooms, and then for every additional bedroom, it's another spot. So, like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath would require 2 spots, whereas a 2-bedroom, 1-bath would only require 1 spot.
But if you do a bonus room loft on these cottages, you can get it up to 1,200 square feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which isn't a bad number, for like a brand
And is
new
that
family.
is this like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house?
Yeah, I think we're going to go after a 3-1, right?
I think there's going to be some that are 2-1s or 3-1s, kind of depending.
Yeah.
So we'll do a little bit. You can kind of as you're laying it
Can
out.
fit a half bath?
Yeah, exactly.
The hardest part is an exit strategy for these. Like, you either really kind of have to want to rent, but there's going to be an HOA, like because it's a community.
Yeah.
So how do you buy into or out of an individual? It's a little bit more complicated.
From our end, because in essence you're building a condo association.
Yeah.
You're building a condo complex, and so you have to develop then the HOA guidelines and standards and stuff like that. And who doesn't love
Don't
HOAs?
be an asshole.
I mean, really.
That's like rule number 1.
That's our only rule. Sir, you need more than one rule. Don't be a dick. There you go.
Record this, please.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to do. Do you remember that place Nate and I lived in Virginia?
Yeah.
To have a pet, you were allowed pets with no pet fee, but you had to submit some of your dog's feces to a lab. And if they caught your dog's shit, they would get it tested, and then you would get
Wow.
an $800 fine for not picking up your dog shit. Yeah,
Wow.
I want to impose that here. I hate stepping in dog shit.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Did you know that community did that?
I did not.
I love that.
That's fun.
Yeah, because we didn't have a dog.
That's not a bad idea.
That's not
I would
bad.
bring
That
samples
can't-
in,
I know-
trying to get people. I fucking hated it.
I bought a I bought a condo that I flipped out in Post Falls in the Promenade, and it was kind of like an affordable condo at the time. It was 2-bedroom, 2-bath. I think I sold it for like $140 something. Today it would sell for a lot more. But the biggest problem that this condo facility had was everybody just let their dog shit in these small little common areas and wouldn't pick it up.
That sucks.
But I've lived in other communities before, like in Florida, where you just have the post there with the
baggies and the
bags,
thing, yeah.
and people will pick it up if the bags are right there.
Yeah.
It's like, come on,
Yeah.
just do that.
It's your dog.
Help them
Yeah.
help themselves a little.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what all the requirements are. And like I said, before, we're kind of figuring this out as we go along. So even the new builds, we don't know exactly what we're doing, but we're enjoying every minute of it.
Nice. So how far away are you from potentially doing this project? You already bought the property?
Yeah, so we've purchased. The cottage developments or the new builds.
I thought it was one and the same.
Oh, sorry.
No,
So
we're doing 2 regular single family.
yeah, just
Oh,
a
okay.
3-bed, 2-bath one, and then a 4-bed.
So you bought developed
3-bath.
lots?
Yeah, so we're developing those. We're in the permitting process right now.
They've
So
already
Okay.
got electrical, gas, and water
stubbed in.
stubbed in. Yeah, we're gonna
Sewer.
Yeah, and sewer. We're gonna.
Are you guys going to
put in the
manage all the
foundation.
subs and
Yeah,
be
yeah.
the builder
Yeah.
on it? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna try to. Right now, we're just doing small, odd jobs, cabinet install, kitchen installs, and anything I can. I just did a whole basement reno, just bringing in income for Ryan spearheading our wholesale division. Property management division. I'm just going to take over the new builds. He's still helping me with all this, but like once we actually get to a good divide point, when he starts hiring more employees for his section and I start getting my employees in sub trades, then we'll have these 2 builds will be a great springboard to learning on a large scale. Okay, this is the area, this is the trades I need, these are the steps I need to take to transition into those cottages. So I want to say this is our phase 2 right now.
Yeah.
We're trying to get out of phase 1, and then phase 3 would be the cottages. And then if we do hold the cottages, Ryan running the property management section of the business would be able to control all that. But it's just stamping cottages out, just assembly line. And how much is 1,200 square feet to frame and drywall and stuff? It's not hard.
So this might be a loaded question, but for the investors out there listening that are fixing and flipping homes and want to try something new, like new construction, because they know, inventory out there is just dog shit. And I think where it's at is, building houses, because that's what the market needs.
Yeah.
And there's still land out there to develop on. It's harder to find. But what kind of advice would you have for those people? Like, how do you make that transition? What should you be aware of, and what are some pitfalls, if any?
First things first, realize today's lumber prices are not like they were a year ago. Like, it's tripled.
Okay.
Like, that is...
So what does it cost for a typical framing package then for an average house?
So when Ryan and I first got here, it was probably $175 to $215 a square foot to build. It's now upwards of $300.
300,000. Oh
No,
is that with the lot?
$300 a square foot.
Is that with the lot or without?
That's without the lot. It's the cost of a new build with a contractor.
That's a little high.
Wow.
It
Is
is
that
up
much?
there.
I don't think that's high. Like,
That's with the contractor.
I want to say like a 2,500
But
square
like
foot.
if you were managing all the subs.
Oh, if they're their own GC.
This is for the investors
you
that
could
want to
keep
take
it-
over. Like, they're doing the same thing, only they're starting from dirt.
Sure.
And they're still just managing subs.
But I am a builder. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And not every flipper is or real estate investment that has a GC background. That's why I think we work really well together. But if they're hiring a contractor because they're not going to tackle it themselves, I guess you're 185 to 230, I would say, a square foot.
Yeah, I mean, it also
Lumber is just
kind of depends on like finished packages, whether or not you're
Yeah.
doing kind of high and medium, low and that type of thing. But yeah, lumber is the biggest factor. Another piece of advice I would say is just relationships are key. Either with your subs but then also with the city. City like of Spokane Valley has been phenomenal, and just saying, "Hey, idiot, we need this." Oh, okay, cool, thanks. There's
They'll coach you through it a little.
Yeah, they are, because
I've
they
noticed that.
they want to help.
They help.
Fundamentally, I think they want to help, but they also want to make sure that it's done correctly and it's done up to their standards or whatever.
But heads up on sewage connection fees.
Yeah,
Didn't see that coming. $8,000 later.
Sewer cap
So
fees.
it's like
Yeah.
$8 grand to do the final from it's already stubbed into the property from the city. So from the city then to your house, they're charging $8 grand to do it. Which whatever.
Yeah, it's close to what it is here.
Yeah.
Usually we spend around $6 grand or so for a sewer cap fee up here.
I've never done from dirt to foundation. I've only done from foundation to finish.
Okay.
So these two new builds is going to show me what it takes to fully develop a house, which is exciting for me. I'll have that last missing piece of the puzzle, and hopefully a really great, decent concrete guy. We've been working with this guy that we met through a house out in Liberty Lake. His name's Ed, really good dude, who's become more of a friend than a client. But he had a great concrete guy do his stamped concrete on his like farmhouse style, and he's taking care of us. So we wanted to get these out of the ground by March, but it's been a little bit harder with obviously like the county not being able to go submit your plans in person and talk to them. What do I need? So that's another heads up, I guess, for the homeowners out there. Just be prepared for the county to take a little bit longer right now because of COVID. In Washington, anyway. I don't know if you're still allowed to go to the county here. Yeah, that's cool.
America.
That's America. I'm envious sometimes.
I am.
Yeah. And
I think so. From a development standpoint, like we kind of lucked into these two lots. We actually bought them from Trevor Rendell. Rendell Homes. Yeah. So he wholesaled these lots, and we ended up buying them. And it's nice because
I might have seen those on an email list.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. So you want to buy them? So water, sewer, and electric,
I want to build in Washington.
and gas were all stubbed in. One of the challenges we were looking prior to doing these two, we were looking at another 1 acre lot to do potentially 8 little houses or 3 duplexes. We were kind of trying to problem solve. And the biggest challenge we found with that one is the groundworks aspect. So we were going to look at spending about $100,000 to $125,000 to get just the road cut in and sewer, water, and electrical and everything all set up to each one of the building sites or locations. And so the challenge then is financing. If you can do it with a hard money lender, like conventional won't touch you until the foundations are poured, ready to go, and then they'll be happy to lend you money. They won't lend you traditional mortgages or whatever. They won't lend you for the groundworks for the development. So you have to come up with kind of creative financing solutions for that. So that's going to be one of the bigger challenges that I see. It's almost like you need to use either private money or hard money to get the development side done. Yeah. But then once you have the concrete pads done, then it becomes easier to finance because it's more traditional, more understood by the big banks and stuff. So.
Well, it's a lot more predictable
Yeah.
what your costs are once you have your foundation
Yeah.
and your utilities stubbed in. Then you pretty much have fixed costs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so that's even one aspect, that would be to buy a parcel to do the groundworks development and then parcel out each lot individually and sell it at that point. So you have kind of a midterm exit strategy, and then if you were to develop all the houses, you can either keep all of them and refinance as a rentals, or you can then sell each one individually or sell them all as a portfolio, that type of thing. So there's kind of multiple exit strategies, and I think just this day and age you need to have kind of backup plans for backup plans for backup plans, just to make sure that you're staying safe. So
Right.
Or sell enough of the developed lots just to be playing with house money. Keep whatever. is
yeah,
in
like
profit.
you can sell like 6 and
Yeah.
keep 3, or sell 8 and keep 1, or I don't know.
Right. Gotcha. So you guys having fun still?
Yeah, truly am.
Yes.
We started doing some wholesale stuff on the side, and legitimately my first phone call to cold call was a for sale by owner house just 2 blocks away from my primary residence. And I talked to this sweet old lady, Maryland, for like an hour and a half, and ended up getting a date with her daughter, or granddaughter, it turns out. So I was looking for a house, and then
I came home and he goes, I might have 5 houses that we're going to wholesale and a date. And I was like, wait,
On
what?
your first call?
My first call. I was like, this is going to be awesome.
I was
Yeah.
like,
It's always rookie's luck.
hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Beginner's luck.
Back that up a little bit. What about the date?
Well, at
How did
first,
the date go?
So we haven't actually had a date yet.
okay.
It was more joking, but like low-key, the grandmother, Marilyn, was really pushing her granddaughter hard. Like, oh, I think you guys would love each other. Blah. It's like, okay, grandma.
Yeah.
But like, genuinely a really nice woman. She has, she's older, 85. She has a number of houses that she's looking to offload, and so we're right now in the process of trying to get into that first house, because her tenants right now, the house is in shambles. It clearly needs a complete gut rehab. And they've posted a notice on their front door that says, we may have been exposed to COVID. Please, we will not answer the door, type of thing. And so now daughter or granddaughter is working with lawyers to, send the documents so we can actually get in and go take a look. So it was
Gotcha.
kind of a random little
Fun challenges always.
Yeah,
Especially when
exactly.
I'm
tenants are
excited
involved.
about our upgrade to a bigger place for like office space and
Yes.
more recreational.
Oh, you guys getting an office?
So
Kind of.
yeah, so my primary residence is a little 1,200 3-bed 2-bath type of thing with a large enough yard that we can park trailers and whatever that we want in the front. But we wanted something a little bit bigger, and so we ended up buying the Kell's house, the neighbor next door to the flip. Kell bought John's other house. We're actually buying John's house. So this one is 200 square feet, 5-bedroom, 3-bath type of thing, and then it actually has a space for an office area downstairs.
Huge
so.
vaulted ceiling, center fireplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. The county has it listed for a 4.2, but it's a 5.2. Right?
3.2,
3.2.
and it's a 5.3.
5.3.
Yeah.
So we got kind of lucky with this one. Thank you, John, if you ever listen to this.
It was a off-market deal, and even they were. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Oh, you don't have to get closer now. I just you guys are slowly, as time goes on, you're getting further and
Here we
further
go.
and further away from that microphone.
Shy.
It's okay.
So yeah, I don't know. That's I don't know.
Just
Kind
remind
of
you of that one night in college.
Penny Benjamin.
Oh,
That was
wanna
a
hear.
Top Gun reference.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched Top Gun since I was like 5.
And one flyby and one Admiral's daughter, Penny Benjamin. And you shit for brains. You're lucky to be here. Sorry. So yeah, I don't know. We're looking forward to moving in. We close on that March 1st, and then Chris and I are moving in. My son is with me half time, so he's moving in, obviously. And then our new employee is actually moving in with us too.
So how old is your son now? Is he like 12?
12. Yeah, 12 now.
I'm so good at math.
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah.
Like 2012 at 7 or 8 or something. 7 or 8 to 5 or 6, whatever it was.
Yeah.
He reads at a 10th grade level.
Yeah. So, yeah, fun side note. He enjoys playing video games, and his trash talking has really gotten epic. Like, Chris and I will be like in the kitchen living room just talking or whatever, and all of a sudden we'll hear him drop some
And
epic
then we like
insults.
stop and we're like, jeez.
Sounds
just
so
like-
familiar.
So I would honestly take offense to that if that was directed at me.
I've got a 4-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son.
Oh, nice.
And they've been exposed to a lot of harsh language over the
Good times.
over the
Have
couple
they
short
repeated
years.
any of it?
Well, so my daughter recently has taken a liking to Super Mario 3 on the regular Nintendo
Nice.
like, simulator.
Throwback. Know your
Oh, yeah.
roots.
Awesome.
So she wants to play that every night, and she'll be like, "Daddy,
Dun, dun,
I'm
dun,
thinking
dun,
about playing
dun,
some
dun,
Mario." Like that's how she wants me to like go upstairs and turn it on for her.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, like she'll just get frustrated because she'll keep jumping into a hole or something like that. And she's like, "Shit!" Like, "Hey, stop! Use the other word." She's like, "Oh yeah, Jax," or something. She like makes up a cuss word. Jax is her
Jax is
made-up
her made-up-
cuss word.
Nice. I like that.
You know
Only
what's
mom
great
and
about
daddy
the
can say
original
that.
NES? You can spike that controller off of solid concrete. It will not affect it. I used to bite it. I got so mad. You know.
Well, it's just some sort of simulator like machine that I got
Emulator?
off emulator
Yeah.
or something like that I
That's
got
awesome.
off Amazon. But it plays like 800 games. But the only game she wants to play is
Sure.
that Super Mario Brothers 3.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a
That's
good one.
It is a good. It's probably one of the best.
She'll play Excite Bike here and there, but it's mostly
Excite
God,
Bike.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
Paperboy was good.
Paperboy's on there. It's a little tough for her.
Yeah.
It's a hard game. You always get chased by the dog. And that random pedophile that runs out to get the kid.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah.
You bringing me any good news?
You got tackled by the guy.
Awkward.
Oh
Yeah.
boy! Can you come get me out
Weird
of
games.
Stuart's basement, bro? No
Uncle
Paperboy
Touchy.
shows up.
Those were our video games back then.
Yeah.
Run away from the pedophile.
I never really thought about that.
That was.
There was-
It's on the game. It's so weird.
Yeah.
The guy just runs out of his house and chases
Yeah,
the kid.
yeah.
I'm
There
gonna
were
get
some
you.
manly games back in the day.
Yeah.
Like lawn darts.
Oh my
We
god.
can't play that shit anymore because some kid caught one to the forehead. You know?
Oh.
I have a set. I love them.
I hate. We got to cut this
Yeah.
short here. I got to run to Bonner's Ferry
Nice.
in about 8 minutes. But
That's awesome.
anything else that we should chat about? What do you guys got going on next other than new construction?
Yeah, so
Property
the new
management.
construction, property management stuff, we're doing a little wholesaling and stuff on the side. My goal is to do some property management stuff for local friends and investors, get all the systems, policies, procedures, and everything in place, and then start holding out to other actual investors. Keller Williams doesn't do any property management, and I'm an agent with them in Spokane, so it's going to be a little interesting how to get around that or do that. But I figure for myself, and close friends, it should be fine. But yeah, so anyways, property management and then just wholesaling stuff, but primarily just for us, finding the good deals and that type of thing, or
Nice.
local investors, not trying to do Danny's amazing job of canvassing the entire inland Northwest.
Eventually
There you
start
go.
branching out to other states too. Just going where the money is,
Yeah.
and then having a plane maybe to get us there. Who
I think
knows?
the money's here.
Yeah, no,
where
I'm
you're
not-
at. Yeah.
I'm saying like 10
Well, I
year.
hear. Oh, I hear what you're saying.
Maybe there's a trailer park in Kentucky or something that hasn't been destroyed by a tornado yet. Like
Right.
ripe for the picking.
It'll be just 3 more times in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. We just had a tornado and ruined our house. Should we build in the exact same location? Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Okay.
Seems legit.
So if somebody out there watching wants to get a hold of you guys, and I don't know, lend you money or be one of your subcontractors or something like that, or
Sure.
just pick your brain. You want to give out your info?
Yeah.
Or
Sure.
Care.
Brian at CRC Homes, crc-homes.com.
CRC. Oh, is that
Yeah,
this
that's
one?
this
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Gotcha. Is that your flipping company?
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of everything.
Construction company.
Yeah.
And Chris, you can have my number, I guess, 413-441-5532.
Call for a good time. Usually at 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. is the best time to reach them.
Yeah, if you got a granddaughter out there that needs a date.
Looking for hot granddaughters.
Old enough. Yeah.
Just kidding. Yeah.
What's the age of
No,
consent, Nido?
Oh my god.
Is 30?
And that's how we got kicked off the podcast.
He said he wanted us to.
All right. 4 people less.
There goes our last 4.
All right.
Hey, man, thank you.
For the 4
Yeah,
people
thank
that
you.
hung in there, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
was
coming
fun.
on.
Yeah.
It was fun. Do it
Well,
again
we do
someday.
it. Yeah, let's do a follow-up maybe after the new builds or something.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. And we'll drink beer next time.
Hell yeah.
Seriously?
We won't do it at 10. Yeah, we usually...
We'll
half
do
the
it at
time
10,
we're
but
drinking
we'll
beer.
just be drinking.
But
Yeah, let's not tease me with a good time.
what kind of beer do you like?
I actually really like the No Lie, the Big Juicy, and
okay.
the
The
Wrecking Ball.
locals. Oh, I love the Wrecking Balls.
Yeah.
I like to drink 6 of those.
Dude, you
No,
get
I'm just kidding.
wrecked.
You get wrecked off a couple. Yeah.
They're like the Dogfish Head IPAs, like the 120s.
Yeah, they're pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're delicious.
All right, thanks everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to the Investor Shed podcast. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for instant access to all future episodes. If you or someone you know has investing experience or stories to share, reach out to us in the comments or via email.